Commissioners now back in session. Next on the agenda is Mr. Michael Marone, County Coordinator Report.
All right, I got a call from Commissioner Sanders. It's bronchitis, and she will not be able to be here this afternoon at 1:30. So I just want to let you guys know. And let me go ahead and move on.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Did you ask her about the voting for what we just discussed?
The
For
appointment,
the appointing Smokey to the,
I did not. I could if you want me to between now and 1:30, and then.
yeah, we need to, because we need to make it,
Okay, all right, I will. I'll check on that and let you guys know. Okay, so item number 1, request for proposal to replace the small HVAC units above the judicial suite on the courthouse roof on the east side was open and read aloud at your October 17th meeting. The project architects, Barnett, Franzak, Barlow, and Schuler, explained that P&P Heating and Cooler appeared to be the lowest bidder. However, after discussing the project with one of P&P's heating principals, Mr. Powell, it was determined that Mr. Powell only used the front-end spec and bid form to prepare his bid, which did not include many of the features the architect had included for the entire bid. Because of this, Mr. Powell stated that he would not be able to do the project as designed for the cost he submitted. Your architect then contacted the next lowest bidder, GW Services, and did confirm that they did the bid project as designed. Board action to accept the recommendation of Barnett, Franzak, Barlow, and Schuler for GW Services, and allow staff to enter into a contract with GW Services. Commissioners, if you guys remember, a few of you asked that question, why was their bid so low? Basically, he bid half the contract. That's
he was
what the problem is.
$30,000 lower.
Yeah, in some cases.
Pleasure of the board on this issue.
So moved.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Lockley,
Second.
second by Commissioner Massey. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? That motion carries.
Item number 2, the board at your October 17th meeting opened and read aloud requests for proposals for approximately 1.67 miles of widening and resurfacing and 3.1 miles of new construction, striping, signs, minor drainage improvements, and grassing along Mill Road, beginning at the intersection of State Road 30 and continuing towards Burnt Bridge Road. Lowest bid received was $2,189,047.13, is $644,734.13 more than what is available for this FDOT SCOP-funded project. Mr. Carrington requested additional funding, but was informed by FDOT that none was available. Dewberry Purple Ridge has started the process of changing the scope of the project to fit within the budgeted $1,544,313. But as soon as a changed scope has been approved by FDOT, I will bring this item before the board for action. So basically, it was, I don't know how you want to term it, you can say it was underfunded. The lowest bid is higher, so they're changing the scope, and as soon as Purple Ridge changes the scope, they have to run it by FDOT, get their approval to change the scope, then I'll bring whatever action is necessary to this board.
How long does that take them to usually do that?
Any wild guesses, sir?
It'll take us a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks.
Okay, because this is in my district right here, and I'm getting a lot of calls on it, because they seen it in the paper, and
So that's why I brought it up, so that everybody understands what the problem is. It's
okay.
not us, it's just funding is an issue, to be very
Okay.
honest with you, Commissioner. Item number 3, based on my request at your last meeting, the board authorized me to engage attorney Stephen Meck, our labor attorney, to rewrite the staffing policy for the Emergency Operations Center once there's been a declared state of emergency. While discussing this matter with the clerk's office, we realized that the county's personnel policy and procedures manual needs to be updated to incorporate this new policy and policies the board has approved since its last update. Board action to allow Attorney Meck to update the personnel policy and procedures manual as he rewrites the Emergency Operations Center staffing policy. Now, I'm not asking for new policies. I want to incorporate all the policies you guys approved in the past, this personnel policy, and then just rewrite our policy to match, so it's updated.
How often does he have to update this?
it's kind of our discretion, and the last time it was updated, Madam Clerk,
I'm thinking it was 4 or 5 years ago.
yeah, and you guys have, like, if, for instance, you guys added the grandparents to the bereavement.
Right.
Of things, I mean, that's been approved, the attorney got it approved, but we have to put it, incorporate it into the policy.
Okay, I'm just wondering how, I know you knew things.
Sometimes there's, laws that change. I mean, I had mentioned one to the finance office about overtime that might need to be looked at. There's just sometimes things change that, labor attorney can look at and make suggestions, but
Yeah.
I don't think there would be a whole lot involvement at this point in time with the update.
Okay.
So moved.
I just thought it'd save us money if we.
No, I was just wondering how
Yeah.
often you had to do it.
And the main thing is that, like, we make different changes, but it's not incorporated.
Right.
It makes it a little tougher. It's better for us to have it all in that manual, so when you
Yes,
hire
sir.
an employee or something,
Exactly.
it's all in there.
Exactly.
And we don't have to go back through, well, we changed this back 3 years ago, but it hadn't been incorporated. So
Right.
'Cause then we
It
got-
costs us a few dollars to get it done, but.
Because I think that one thing in there to come up, that's what I was wondering, it's gonna be in there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so,
Let-
second,
Do we have a motion yet?
Mr. Knowles.
Commissioner Walker.
Commissioner Lockley made a motion, second by Commissioner Massey. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries.
At your last meeting, I informed the board that there is a proposed legislation removing the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services as the agency responsible for issuing and collecting the fee for oyster harvesting licenses for the Apalachicola Bay and naming the city of Apalachicola as the new agency. The board discussed this matter at length and decided to continue the discussion today at this meeting. During that discussion, the board directed me to contact CareerSource Workforce to find out what would be an estimated daily amount for an Apalachicola Bay shelling program. Based on the information I received, it would cost about $50,000 per day, which will include shell material, oysterman wages, material handler, cost of supervision, and the payroll processing fee. Board discussion. Just want to update you, let you know what,
You say 50,000?
a day.
Because you only got three zeros in there.
I do, don't I? I'm sorry, I'm missing a zero. Thank you, sir. It's 50,000 a day.
$50,000 a day to process the license?
No, sir.
No,
50,000 a day. If you're doing a shelling program,
Oh, okay,
you guys had
okay,
asked
okay,
me,
okay.
what does it cost a day to do a shelling program?
Okay,
And
okay.
that's, I got that.
Commissioner Lockley actually asked what it costs to do shelling per day.
Right.
Yeah, the reading, can I say? That's what I'm talking about, where you got $50,000. Back then, they said, in which we heard another statement today, a while ago. I guess they said they were collected about 80,000. Well, that mean that 50,000 gonna do one shelling, and whoever else do it, they got to pay admission. I mean, they gonna want admission fees if the city do it. So you got one shelling out of this. I don't see where it's worth it. Cause then after that shelling program, after that one shelling is done, the state done got out of this. Beware what you ask for, cause them people gonna want us to come up with some money for a shelling program. And we got the, you can't take the tax money and do it. The city the state not doing it. The county and the city don't have no money to do it with, neither one. Not really. I don't understand how this gonna work. I think we should get in a little argument with the state and let them take over what they supposed to do, because that's their bay and they supposed to be responsible for it. They got the deed to it, they own it. They taking care of the rest of them oyster bars up and down the coast, from Pensacola on down south. They haven't turned them loose. How they just gonna turn this in one bay loose? That's not right. It's something we got to get with them, and we just can't just let it go like this.
Any other comments from board members on this issue of the state relinquishing issuing oyster license?
And as the chairman, just more, is this something that this new committee that you all, that the city ranch wants, was something they would want to talk about?
I'm sure, as far as it,
You get an opinion from what they want to see happen?
that and all the state agencies that are participating, you get their side of the story too.
Commissioner Lockley, I'll tell you, the state agencies, and I get this from people who have worked in the state, they've been trying to, DAX has been trying to dump this on FWC, licensing on FWC for years. I mean, this is not the first time this has come up. It's probably the 10th time. I mean, it doesn't generate enough money to warrant running the program from the agency standpoint. I've heard that direct from DAX, and so they've always been trying to find somebody else to do it. So this is just another version. They finally went out of the state circle of friends and now leaked down to somebody else who was less, was more unsuspecting. But it's unfair, but I would say DAX has been trying to get rid of this license for at least
Well,
a decade.
That's good. That's good. I don't see why they need no license. Nobody else in the state have to have it. I'm not worried about the license part. They talking about they not gonna put no more shade.
Oh, that's right, that's correct, they're not, they're getting out of
That's
business
the
too.
part I'm talking about.
That's exactly right, I can't tell you whether it's I can't, well, let me put it this way. The Secretary of Ag really liked aquaculture, and I don't know whether he has decided that's the only way we're gonna have a successful seafood industry or not, but he is pushing aquaculture, and right now to the exclusion, to the detriment of Apalachicola Bay, he's not interested in reshelling natural bars.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
on the oyster license, couldn't we have one of our county employees do that for that 1 month instead of City of Appalachia doing it, and just take that money and put it up and hold it where it won't be spent?
I could look into that. and
Look
see what
into
you
it.
want to do.
It's only a 1 month project. That's all they give you is 1 month to do the oyster license. And after that, you have to pay $500 to buy them. If you do, you didn't get them, but if we could do it, or one of the girls, or maybe Alan's working or something, he could do the,
Alan's out. Alan's out. And that's the whole problem is having a dedicated staff member. So you'd have to take money from this license fee and hire a staff member to do it, because they have to show all these videos. It ain't just buying a license. You gotta go through this video and sanitary stuff that you gotta do. And even if they pay, somebody comes in late and pays $500, well, they still got to sit through this video and all. So you just about got to have somebody year round operating this program, and it ain't generating but $88,000 a year to begin
there ain't
with.
too many gonna pay the $500 what the bay shape it's in, I'm saying.
But they still have to go through all this other stuff that you gotta do too. It's not just giving them a
I was
license.
going to say, Commissioner, the best I can do is find out exactly what it entails, and then come back to the board and say, okay, this is what it entails, this is what needs to be done, and then you guys could give me some directions what you want me to do if it's,
I'm gonna make a motion you to check on and see what it entails to take care of, and see if we can handle it inside the City of Appalachia, we can put this money up.
We have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Massey. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I second that.
Second by Commissioner Lockley. Any further discussion? All
Yeah.
those,
I still wanna watch the chicken to see why we can't get rid of the license period. See what that entails. Watch it, so we'll know everything. All the other bays don't have to have it. I mean, you go to Pensacola, you don't need no license. You go to Wakulla, go to Sebring, you go over there to Southport, you don't have to have no license.
I don't even know when the license got passed, what, in 85?
Yeah, back then, 85.
are you,
After the 2 hurricanes, wasn't it?
yeah, Commissioner Massey, you amending your motion to reflect what Commissioner Lockley is saying?
Yes, sir.
And Commissioner, you added that to your second.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion?
And while we're here, I would like to add, don't know which way it's gonna go. There's several ways to look at it. We talked last time about the possibility of limiting, if the City of Appalachia was the one doing it, limiting what administrative fees are. We also, there is a possibility you can make the license last for more than 1 year. It's $100, but it's good for 5 years, say. I mean, there's different ways of looking at it, other than just doing away with it, because I do, to some extent, agree with what Commissioner Parrish, Chairman Parrish said last time we were talking about it. If you completely do away with the license, it might not be good now, but if it gets good 10 years from now, then it's just a wide open door, to something we've been doing for a long time, our best to protect. And the licensing does in some senses do that. Is it the absolute best thing? No, but it's better than nothing. So I just want to add that in while we're talking about it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, what Commissioner Parrish said, because back before the license got out, when it was open, people would come from all over Pensacola, Panama, all over, and just catch all the oysters they want to catch, set them in bags and leave with them. They never unloaded nothing or bought nothing in Franklin County.
Right.
That's correct.
They all just left here, yeah.
Just left us, and hauled it off, hauling trash, makes cash.
Yep.
And, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we can look at it if everybody wants to look at it, discuss that at a different time. It's been included into this motion, so, without any further comment?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, may I address Commissioner Lockley's question on how to eliminate the license? This is imposed by state laws. There would have to be a bill entered into the legislature to eliminate the license. We have to have a sponsor to do legislative delegation. It would ultimately have to be signed into law by the governor. We missed the opportunity to even try that this year. I believe all the deadlines for filing legislation for the upcoming session, that deadline is in the rearview mirror and expired. So that would be procedurally how it could be done. It just can't be considered at this time for this year because procedurally we missed our window of opportunity.
Yeah, I know because I think Al Lawson sponsored it the last time. But what I'm saying is, we saying you're stopping the people here, but other people go to them other places and do the same thing, and they don't stop them. I mean, you got to look at it two ways. We got people from Appalachia go to Pensacola and all. We got people go to Southport. They go over there to
Cedar Keys.
Cedar Keys and more colors. But what them people do, they check their bags. And they don't come in there. When they go in there, like they did out here, hauling all that stuff off, they got tickets. And they made them do right. So they go, when you go out in them other bays, you got to do what they tell you to do. Or either you're gonna get fined. They real tight on they law. When they say a 3-inch, that's what they mean.
We do have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carried.
Item number 5, Commissioners. The issue of if roof eaves and overhangs have to meet the required setback has come up. The way the zoning code is currently written, they do. But in the past, the building department did not consistently enforce this requirement. This issue was added to the October 10th Planning and Zoning Commission agenda, and after some discussion, they agreed that the current language in the zoning code requires eaves and roof overhangs to meet the setbacks. Does the board want to consider amending the zoning code to make an exception to the setback requirements for eaves and roof overhangs, but restrict this exception to lots that are below certain size, platted before a certain date? Basically, we talk about the lots of records, or lots of record a lot, after a certain, I think it was the zoning code or the comp plan, whichever date we use. So, I mean, it's been a back and forth discussion. I'll just say this to the board. So what the board like us to consider, staff, as to what direction to go in?
Can I interject for just a second?
Yes, sir.
So I'll be honest, Commissioners, I don't really care whether you have these or not have these, but don't do it on site specific so that some houses can have the setback and some don't. I mean, that was going to confuse everybody, all the builders and everything. So either allow the eaves to be in the setback for everybody or don't allow it for everybody. But don't do a site specific, date specific. That's what's going to confuse the building industry. It's going to confuse planning and zoning. And just to give you a little bit of history in the back, the reason it wasn't consistently enforced is that some builders and architects, when they drew a site plan, which we used, would show the eaves as a footprint, and some didn't. And we didn't really appreciate that at the time. So we had this, a site plan is an aerial view down, and you have a square box of the house, the section of the house, and sometimes it had the eaves on it. It didn't identify as the eaves, but sometimes it didn't. So, when we were measuring houses, we measured from the site plan, and we would say, oh yeah, it meets the 7-foot setback. And then there are cases, and there are some builders who did it repetitively, and we just didn't know it, that they never showed the eaves. And so on a small lot, we'd go out there, and there'd be 2 more feet. Well, I mean, it usually didn't really matter because the lots weren't usually that close, but it was the fact that not every architect, engineer, builder used the same concept of where to include the eaves or not. I mean, every house has eaves, and sometimes they use the wall as the baseline, and sometimes they didn't. So we didn't pick up on that in our office. So that's just an aside for how it was not consistently enforced. But I would just ask you whether you want it or not, it's your decision, but make it applicable to every lot because it's going to be too confusing for
Whether it's a 25-foot lot or a 100-foot lot.
Yes, that's correct.
You see that as the easiest.
Yeah, I don't care what size, I mean, yes, because, well, the 25-foot lots, you're going to get a variance anyway. Because with 2 10-foot setbacks on either side, you're already going to get a variance.
So that goes back to 5 feet.
Right.
I mean,
Right. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
If you allow both houses on a 25-foot lot, 2-foot overhang on each side, it only leaves you 1 foot between the 2 roofs. Correct?
Well, I have to see what we've already done. Actually, every
10.
one of those shotgun lots is almost built on, and there's more than a foot between those houses. So I think
Probably 6 foot.
I think there's 6 foot. I think we included the eave in that variance. So I think those houses are only 13 feet wide.
Okay. And that's what you're not wanting us to get into. Either the eaves are included or not, regardless of the size lot.
I mean, the only exception I grant you is maybe for those 25-foot commercial lots. But don't do it site specific or date specific, saying if that lot was created before a certain date, you can have it. If it was created after a certain date, you can't. It's going to be too confusing for the builders. If you want to say the eaves have to be included in the site plan for all lots narrower than 50 feet, no matter when they're created, so be it.
Okay. That's what clarification we need.
I mean, but we're not creating 25-foot lots anymore. I mean,
No, these are all created, that's where the dates come in. They're all created previous to the code.
right.
Lots of records.
But the problem, there were a lot of other lots that were created back then that weren't 25 feet wide, they're 60 feet wide.
I
80 feet
see,
wide.
I see.
Y'all might need to get this man that, write y'all new rules up.
So,
Well, I would say other communities do it both ways. I mean, it's not just crisis. Other communities allow eaves as part of in the setback. In fact, in Brevard, where I had to get a variance for the addition I'm building, the city of Brevard allows eaves, a 2-foot overhang in the setback without a variance. It's just allowable. We'll call it, well, you tell us.
so the question's going to be now, so do we require now that the eaves is shown in the site plan before?
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. It's in the zoning code. It has been all along. And we just assumed that everybody was showing it, but some builders weren't. And we didn't pick up on it. And it really didn't matter because most lots are 100 feet wide. It didn't matter.
Right.
It wasn't noticeable in the field that there was 2 more feet of overhang on a 100-foot wide lot. So it really rarely came into play.
So what's your recommendation?
Well, except for the 25-foot wide lots, I don't have a problem with the 2-foot overhang in the setback. I mean, nowadays, most houses are air conditioned. It's not like you're gonna have your windows open all the time and you're gonna hear your neighbors screaming and shouting. I mean, people live a different lifestyle now, and so having a 2-foot overhang, big deal.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What's the smallest lot we got now?
Well, the smallest lot you create now is through the subdivision ordinance, and I think it's a minimum of 60 feet. 100 feet.
100
Well,
is
no,
small.
not the subdivision, your platted subdivision, it's 100 feet. So the cluster, you could do slightly less.
Well, the cluster has to be a minimum of
15,000.
18,000 square feet.
Okay.
And it also says that,
I thought the subdivision allowed 60-foot wide lots.
so we'll check.
But anyway, one of us is right. It's either 60 or 100, but we're not doing any 25-foot lots anymore.
Not doing it.
50-foot lots.
We don't allow them to do
One of
that.
us is right.
So you have, again, even on a 60-foot wide lot, it's not that noticeable if you got eaves.
I mean, as long as we require them to put it on there, because they're part of the house. Just require them to put it on there. I mean,
On the site plan.
Keep it out of the setback, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, make sure they show it.
Make sure they show it.
But you want to let it have be in the setback, in the 10-foot setback. I don't know, I'll say, that some builders want us to do that, give them a little more latitude on their
What they
building
want.
styles. They
What-
want, the builders want it. to some
Is it
extent.
always just 2 feet?
No, it used to be bigger than that, but we
That's-
only give them 2 feet.
You can have a lot bigger hangover as you want.
Right.
Yeah, some of them bigger,
But you
some of
can't
them
have it in the
smaller.
setback.
Right, can't have them setback.
Well, the standard eve is either 18 inches or 24 inches.
That's what I meant,
Standard.
that's the way I should have asked it. Would the eaves only go 2 feet into the
No, they-
setback?
Well, that's all we allow. I mean, that's all, that's the largest, that's the largest encroachment to a setback that I've seen is 2 feet.
But what I ain't worried about that part, but I still think it should be included in the.
Site plan.
in the-
It should be,
in the
it should
dra- In the drawing.
Well, the only thing about the eaves hanging over like that, and you got two neighbors there and both their eaves are hanging over, it gets into an issue, especially on these 25-foot lots, of fire protection.
Yeah.
If one house catches fire, can the fire department get in between these two houses and get in there and put the fire out without it catching the next house on fire and the next house on fire and the next house on fire? And that's the reason you have setbacks, to provide like basically an alleyway between these two houses where you can get firefighters in their ladder truck or whatever to try to put this stuff out. So that's a huge concern for a 25-foot lot. So if you allow those to come into the setback, you're narrowing the amount of space that they have to get in there and do that. That's what I remember.
Yeah,
from
and I would say
serving
we
on-
don't allow 125, or even anything less than 50 feet.
Right, that's what I remember from sitting on the P and Z board, that was a big issue, was fire protection, especially like the skinny minis on the island, where they're stacked right side by side by side. Those are 25-foot lots. So what I keep asking Alan is, you got to state your recommendations so that somebody can make a motion on this issue
So, okay,
without being so
Well,
confused.
yes.
I want to get across over the attorney who's sitting here, giving me the
Evil eye.
eye, so I know what he's thinking.
So
But
either
one
one
of
of
you are
these to
right,
hang
so it's all
over.
good.
So,
Well, ask him.
it
So
sounds like
basically, it comes down to whether you allow the eaves into the setback or you don't want the eaves into the setback. That's what it comes down to.
And if you allow it, it sounds like we have to limit what size lot we allow it in.
I would say, because I don't really see a big harm, that on lots that are greater than 50 feet wide, so if your lot is less than 50 feet wide, you cannot have a eve encroachment into the setback. But if a lot is greater than 50 feet wide, we allow up to 2 feet of eve encroachment into the setback.
24 inches.
24 inches. If the lot is greater than 50 feet wide.
Greater or less than?
If it's greater than 50 feet wide, I allow the encroachment. If it's less than 50 feet, you would not allow the encroachment.
Let me ask you a question.
But if you got two people that's got 50-foot lots and they build, okay.
Well, they're almost like if they're 50-foot wide lots, they're probably not gonna put on the setback. They've probably got enough room in their lot to move it around.
But that's up to the builder and the homeowner.
Don't that eve is throwing water.
Right.
It's throwing water too. That part of that, what.
Yeah.
That's
what
why you want
was
them farther,
talking-
that's why you want them farther apart. That's why I say the 50-foot wide lot, you probably have enough room to deal with the water running off.
How about you let Alan, Mark,
Yeah, let the county planner give you a recommendation.
Alan, Mark, and the attorney talk before the next P and Z meeting. We actually come up with a language that specifies exactly what we want to do, have P and Z look at it, and I bring it back at the next meeting. to
As
the
a
board.
recommendation.
Yeah, as a recommendation.
I think that's the perfect thing to do. Can I get a motion for
I
that?
make a motion on that.
Second, cause the
I'm going
reason,
to say something before we do
All
it.
right, go ahead.